Yes, indeed, Dan. And sticking with the Middle East, I want to bring in an interview that I had just a couple of days ago. I spoke to the CEO of Majid Al Futtaim. I asked him about how these oil prices are weighing on the local economy here in the UAE and more broadly in the GCC as well, and how that government push to cope with it by pushing tourism and retail is really working out. Let's listen in.
The region continues to be quite dependent on the price of oil, and this is something that is a key indicator because of the contribution of the governments in the region to GDP. And I think the answer that we're seeing that's actually very comforting for businessmen around the region and business people like me is the fact that the government of Saudi Arabia, the government of the UAE and the other governments in the region are working tirelessly and now seriously in order to increase the share of the private sector and the non-oil sector in the economies. This is a good step in the right direction.
How does this translate? Because you have growth numbers that aren't expected to be as good as they were this year in 2020. What's your outlook for that?
Well, I would say two things. We've seen a revision down of the growth outlooks for this year, and this is something that's a reality that we are facing. I think I personally see a brighter side, or basically a brighter tomorrow. I think Saudi Arabia is now back or getting itself back on track. What happened with Saudi Arabia is a lot in a very short period of time that was extremely necessary, and I think now things I hope we're bottoming up, I would say. In the UAE, there has been a lot of great initiatives in order to deal with the issues. Lately, we've seen, this, I would say, long-term view that the government is giving for most of the population in the country with their golden visas and the long-term view about the country that's going to push people to invest more. But also, we're seeing tourism picking up. We've seen a 2.7% increase in tourism this year in Dubai. That's promising. We've seen 10% increase into the Chinese tourists coming to Dubai. That's also very promising. So there are some bright spots happening. The real estate transactions, we've seen a growth of 33% 2019 versus 2018. These are all good indicators. They're not enough. We still have a lot of headwinds. But I think we are moving in the right direction. We have Expo 2020 coming next year. That's going to be a few million tourists coming. Some say 5 or 6 million, some say 4 to 5 million. But at the end of the day, there are going to be a few million tourists coming.
When you look at new markets, what's interesting to you?
I would say the fundamentals. It's the socio-demographics of the region that are extremely favorable, okay? The population and the demand. We have up to 60% of the population that's below 25 years old. These are people that want more housing, they want more experience, they want to actually live a modern lifestyle.
And they want jobs.
Wherever they geographically are, and this comes through more jobs. And if you look at the GDP contribution, the retail sector, the tourism sector, are the sectors that contribute to most to global GDP. And if the region, they are the sectors that are the most important after oil. So it is very important for us to continue to push in that direction, to continue to invest in the region, and to be able to actually offer more jobs for the youth of this region.
And just in case you were wondering, that, of course, is at Mall of Emirates just up the road in Dubai. And that was, in fact, snow, not sand. We're going to tell you a little bit more about that up in the next few minutes.
Hey, everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.